the reality is right now homelessness is probably the #1 issue for young people out there, and a lot of it is related to the lack of housing, but I think also a lack of a sense of belonging. You know, a lot of the youth out there don't feel connected because they're continuously being shunned or turned away or looked down upon, or basically just made to feel like they don't even exist. There's a lot of different questions out there as to why people are out on the streets. There's misconceptions of people wanting to be out on the street, that choose to be out there. But I think some of the difficult factors that we face in trying to get people off of the street is the stigma of what a shelter might be for a person. A lot of people are afraid to come into shelters because they think they're going to lose their independence. Also, people are afraid to be lumped into one group as a homeless youth or a lost cause type of thing. Unfortunately, people in our community do look at young people out on the street as a source of a sore spot.
I became homeless when I dropped out of school and started messing around with the wrong people.
When you don't trust anybody and when you've been hurt so badly by the people that you did trust, coming to services can be a real challenge because you just don't want to get hurt again. We know young people who have committed suicide.
How did you become homeless? I became homeless from my home environment at home was very dysfunctional and had a lot of violence. My brothers had drug and alcohol addictions and they became very violent towards me, and it just was not a safe place to be in. The hardest obstacles I faced being homeless would have to be being a female, because predominantly there's males in the shelter and I've had a past of sexual abuse, and I find it very hard for me because I get very intimidated easily, and a lot of guys just know like what victims to pick.
In this field, I've lost a number of young people to various reasons or factors due to their homelessness or lack of housing or lack of supports. The one that will always be in my heart is a young girl. She was one of the first young people that I ever worked with. And I first met her when she was 12 years old, and she was a tough nut to crack. She really didn't like me very much, and we had a very challenging relationship. But over the next 5, almost 6 years, we worked hard at it, and we developed a pretty strong relationship. And she had stabilized and was doing quite well. Still struggling with some issues. She had a home, so she wasn't necessarily homeless, but she was still tied to the streets in some ways. And she went out to celebrate her 18th birthday. And unfortunately, she overdosed. And whoever she was with decided, rather than call the police and try and get this person support, they basically threw her body out of the window of the hotel. And she was found about 6 hours later lying on the street of Hastings. And I think it was Hastings and Carroll. And that was her 18th birthday. And I got a call that day at home, because it was my day off. And I was told that she had passed away. And to this day, I still look at her as a guiding force, because she did succeed in many different ways. She did manage to get herself somewhat removed from the streets and from being homeless and struggling with those issues, but it never really left her.
How did you become homeless?
Through drugs and alcohol, and Mom is a full-blown Christian, and I'm actually gay, so she doesn't really accept that. She's like, I'm apparently Satan to her, so she doesn't want to see me, which is whatever. I never really known her too much anyways, but I have a decent relationship with my brother. He's older by 2 years. My sister, she's older by 1 year. And as for my daughter, you know, it's just like, as soon as I start getting my shit together, then I could start working with her. But for me to be a good parent, I need to get stable. So right now, it's just not, I'm not in any shape to be doing that. I'd change a lot of things, but the one main thing I'd probably change is actually going to school and not doing drugs and like not throwing my future away for this. for homeless, for poverty. I had all the tools in front of me, I just didn't pick them up and use them. I threw it all away for nothing.
I would recommend that people write to their MP in Ottawa or write to their MLA in Victoria and encourage them to do that. I mean, politicians do actually read those emails and letters, and let's everybody write to them and ask them to continue the work that they're doing. They can also volunteer for agencies that work with homeless youth. Covenant House is one, but there's other agencies that would love to have help from volunteers, either mentoring youth or working in a kitchen, or all kinds of jobs that volunteers can do. Also, you can donate food or clothing or money to your favorite charity. All of those things are always welcome. And most of these agencies have websites that have some ideas about how you can help them on their website. We certainly do. Can I say that? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think that, how do I want to say this? I just want to say how much we love working with kids. I think it's such a privilege. And, sorry guys.
It's okay.
Jeez. They're so courageous and interesting and smart and funny and sometimes really, really stubborn and but it's just such a joy, and we love working with kids.
I'd love to just have a normal life. White picket fence, 2.5 kids, and a dog. I don't wish for anything big or spectacular.
Children. They're somebody's child. Somebody is missing this person. Somebody is concerned for them. And we do have an obligation to look out for one another. We're supposed to be an industrialized, democratic society in which we've developed a sense of kindness towards each other and a commitment to each other. Well, let's prove it. Let's help those who are right now not in a position to help themselves.